am in Soleil. I'm going to create a level 1 instance. So I have Claeave up, I have Dragon Punch, and I have Round Kick. Round Kick. Hold on, I got a mob gun. Kill this guy with dots. He's green, I won't get anything anyway. Alright, so Round Kick. It does up to 3 additional enemies in front of you. Round Kick will double and triple attack based on your skill. Kick is what a warrior has. Alright, same thing. Kicks your target, dealing damage, double and triple attack. I guess that's a single. Alright, that's why I'm using Round Kick. I've got Dragon Punch up. And it's a single thing just like the warrior kick. So the single target will do a little bit more damage to one target, but the AAE effect will do damage to 3 targets. And now I have Claeave activated. And it hits 3 targets and yada yada, double, triple on your skill. So Claeave and Round Kick are about the same. I have 2 one-hand blunt weapons, no edged weapons whatsoever. Alright, my melee hits will now go to this window. So you'll be able to see. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn Dragon Punch off. So the only thing that should come up is just my regular, one-hand blunt hits, Claeave, and Round Kick. And as a matter of fact, let's just turn off Round Kick. Why muddy the water? Now, I know that the wiki is not up to date. That's a big topic of conversation in the chat. So a lot of the stuff that I'm saying isn't coming just from the wiki. I'm getting stuff out of chat. People saying, hey, I did this, and this is what happened. People are talking a lot about soloing Nagy. Man, come on. So people are talking a lot about soloing Nagy. It's kind of a thing. So people are talking about soloing Nagy, and no one ever is raving about the warrior Claeave skill. No one even talks about being a warrior. The only reason I'm a warrior is because I want the monk's defensive abilities, which means agility, which means frog lock, and I want heavy armor to go along with that defensive ability. I am not a warrior because I think they have some sort of great damage output. I know that the whole MT and shit like that may not happen that much, though I disagree. I think that for a long time, we're going to be working our way up through the different dungeons to get gear, and I think the Holy Trinity is going to play a part in it to some extent. It's going to be good to have someone that can hold aggro, so other people can just wail with their direct damage and heavy dots and not worry about getting tagged. So I think being a tank, at least early on, well, not early on, but for quite a long time, being a heavy tank is going to be beneficial. And as I get my mana up, the shaman will be more beneficial in combat. So my mana pool is only 744, and that's with 72 extra mana from these rings. And then I've got 2 of these, giving me another 28 wisdom. And that, unfortunately, is intelligence, right? But my mana pool kind of sucks. So I'm a really heavy-duty tank. I can take a shit ton of damage. But my damage output is not all that great. Like I said, I'm a warrior for heavy armor. I'm a monk for his defensive capabilities. I'm a shaman for all the really great buffs that it gives my tank. And he's also a pretty decent damage doer. Once my mana is up at a higher level, it'll be good. So I'm not really sure. The people in the videos, like we said, the wiki is not up to date. Well, the people that are making those videos soloing Nagy saying, oh, this is super duper critical, they're the ones that are contributing to the wiki. So just because someone figured out a way to defeat Nagy doesn't mean they're like the end-all, know-all for, EQL. Like I said, I read chat a lot, and no one is talking about you got to be a warrior. Matter of fact, a guy the other day was saying that once you get to like 36 or 37, you can't really progress solo unless you have a tanky build. And a bunch of people jumped on that. They're like, bullshit. I soloed Nagy, and my biggest tank was a fucking ranger. So, just because somebody, it was okay. It's like with growing pot, man. I read shit on the internet and watch videos, and people are like, oh, this is what you have to do. You got to do it this way. So it's like somebody finds something that works, and they decide that's the best way to do it. And it's not. There's 101 ways to grow pot. And I imagine there's going to be 101 ways to defeat Nagy. And I don't think warriors are going to be a critical part of that, other than the fact that you can wear heavy armor. That's about it, in my opinion. Now, I haven't soloed Nagy, so I don't know, but I'm going on first-hand information in the chat as people are saying, hey, I just did this, and this is my build. Another thing people are talking about, the build isn't as super-duper critically important as the gear. I've read a couple people saying that they've tried to solo Nagy multiple times, and they couldn't do it until they got, a bunch of flame resist gear. So, if you can resist his magic, you could probably beat him being a frickin' wizard. So, I don't know. But I do know that, the shit that I'm seeing in here, it's this stuff that's making people as strong as they need to be. These are bad examples, obviously, but the gear that's being linked is the key. And fucking arrows. People are talking about this a lot. So it's got a lot of saves. Strength, wisdom. So, actually the Fiery Avengers become a big topic of conversation. I don't know why, but I know that there has been a huge surge in Paladins. People on there saying, yeah, man, I tried Paladin because of this. So I don't know if that's a recent drop, something they've added, or what the deal is, but it has become quite the topic of conversation. And I'm just going to do level 1. Don't want to disable spawning. Alright, so I've got everything set up. The only thing that we're going to see is my melee damage. And I've turned off everything except Claeave. I'm going to double check it once I get in here. And again, I'm only using one-handed blunt weapons. So, like you said, the wiki is not worth looking up. Well, if people are saying you have to have an edged weapon for Claeave to work, that's not up to date either. I posted, like I sent you a video, resent it today. In about 8 minutes, 45 seconds, I'm fighting. Man, I almost went the wrong way. Why my damage isn't showing up? It might be too low. Yeah, my damage, I'm doing damage, it's just not showing up. My hit. Alright, see, I've got Claeave activated. Oh, and it just went off. See, look. Every time that thing goes red, that means it's activated. Please be blue. 20. It might work. There's a green down there, too. Alright, so watch the screen here. Come on, level 20. Motherfucker, I may have to run back over to that fucking Koran. But, like I said, bash is not highlighted. I don't have a shield anyway. Oh, a bash has recently been changed, so it works with a two-hand. But the only thing that can possibly be activating it. So I don't have any other boxes checked. So the only thing that can possibly be causing that to activate is Claeave with two one-hand blunt weapons. This is level 1. There's probably going to be shit down below that's higher level. Fuck. It's not the first time that's happened. Dark blue, here we go. Dude, why are my hit? What the fuck? Why is my melee not showing up? I mean, my hits. Fuck. There you go. Claeave just went up. Alright, well, Claeave is going up. You can see, so it's activated. Because it's not actually saying whether I'm at... Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's do this. You can see the kind of damage I'm doing here. So let's turn Claeave off. This is kind of a stupid thing. You actually have to go to another tab and move the stuff back to it. Yeah, see, so it's not going to show us exactly what Claeave is doing. See, I can't just turn missiles off. I have to go to another chat box. Let's do this. think that's actually what I meant to do. Alright, so you see what my damage is right now. 34, 48, 40. All of it is crushing. And I'm going to turn Claeave on and we'll see how often it tags. Yeah, I mean, dude, my damage didn't go up. That it's not. See, there's no big 1,200 point hits, 500 point hits. I mean, it's nothing. It's just an extra hit every every 12 seconds. It does an extra hit, just like round kick. So this guy's too low. No, still, yeah, my shit's still going. But look, I mean, I don't see anything that's like, oh my God, Claeave is so awesome. Look at all the damage it's doing. There's not much extra. Every 12 seconds, it does an extra hit. And if there were 3 guys standing there, then they would all be getting hit. Yeah, see, I just kicked that guy for 18 points, which, I mean, it's actually lower than the rest of the hits, but that may have just been, that particular round. All right, another dark blue. All right, so compare this with the round kick going off. Okay, see, now I've got 2 guys. See, there's just it's not a thing. Okay, I don't know why this guy, whoever's telling you this in the videos, oh, you gotta have Claeave. I mean, you really don't. It's extra damage. Don't get me wrong. Every 12 seconds you get an extra hit on up to 3 players or 3 NPCs, but it's still just going to be the normal damage. I mean, it's not going to be this super duper critical. Now, if this guy was saying he was doing 1,200 points, he probably has some sort of gear that's doing it. The skills and shit themselves isn't really the big thing. It's what your character has that makes it that much better. And like I said, dude, people are talking about soloing Nagy or soloing one of the planes, and they're talking about the gear. It's like, hey, I was fighting this guy, man, getting my ass kicked, and then I got this, and all of a sudden, I was able to do better. So, I wouldn't worry so much about your build, because it's all going to come down to gear at some point. The builds are just going to give us, different unique combinations and abilities, however you actually want to play. Honestly, dude, if motherfucker, am I going the right way? Yeah, honestly, I've actually thought that Cleric Shaman would be better than going with like Warrior. Monk, Shaman, Cleric was what I was thinking about doing. But the main reason I haven't done it is because, like I said, the Frog Lock is just super fucking good for a tanky build. His Wisdom sucks. So if I was to go, oh, you know what? I'm not even sure I'm not even sure a frog can be a cleric, not as a primary. So that's something, that's something that it couldn't be my primary. My primary would have to be like, fuck, I don't even know. Shit, I don't even, he'd probably be a monk. Might be my primary if I were to do that. But, you know, that's just not really... but like I said, man, Claeave is going off with 2 one-handed blunt weapons. And the damage that I'm seeing, there is no huge difference when Claeave activates, you know, versus just a regular hit. So whoever's telling you on the videos that, you know, you gotta have Claeave, it's super duper awesomely important, it isn't. Round kick isn't. Dragon punch isn't super duper critical. They're bonuses. And as I don't know, that makes a specific skill really powerful. It's possible. There's a lot about this game I don't know. There's a lot about this game that obviously no one knows. The chat is just constantly people contradicting each other. Oh no, I did this and it works. Well, I did that and it works. All right, for instance, people still think that if you have intelligence and wisdom as your build, that it combines to give you a bigger mana pool. I have proved repeatedly it does not. All intelligence stacks, all wisdom stacks. But a lot of people still don't believe that. And I figured out maybe why a lot of people think that. Because somebody yesterday was saying they had an earring that gave intelligence and an earring that gave wisdom. And both of them bumped up their mana pool. Since they had an intelligence caster and they had a wisdom caster, they both benefited from gear that bumped that particular stat. Now that's what this dude was saying. Some people didn't really buy it. I don't know, but he was saying, man, I'm doing it right now. I'm taking it on and off, and my mana pool's going up. So who knows? Maybe splitting your stats isn't that big of a deal, because down the road you're going to be able to get intelligence and wisdom gear. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, there is no one size fits all. You just kind of got to decide what you actually want to do. Man, I mean, you really want to be a bard, well, be a bard. They've got a lot of ability, but I don't see being a warrior as all that super duper critically important. I wouldn't be a warrior if it wasn't for the fact that monks can't wear plate armor. I want the armor class, and I want the monk's defensive ability, right? And as you can see, my equipped weight of 54 is too much. That's obviously red because my monk, you know, is not getting his armor class bonus because of weight. But that little bit of a bonus isn't worth giving up shit like this. You know, which it's going to be a long time before I get this when the game launches, but that's good. So, you know, like this, strength and agility. Strength. This piece sucks. I was planning to farm it, but the agility is still good, and the armor class is good. You know, if you get it up to like +10 or something. But the intelligence won't do me any good at all, since I don't have any intelligence in my build. So if you want me to make another video on something, let me know and we can discuss further.